Welcome everybody to another episode of Conversations with OGs. I'm Meatball.
I'm Dre.
And today we're going to be talking about the complications of being a man. What that sound like to you, Dre?
Well, I feel like the complications of being a man, it can be so many different things. It's the aspects of we should be providers for our family. We got to be protectors. We got to have no feelings in certain situations. We just got to just take it on the chin. So we got to be the umbrella for so many other people, and they expect everything to just go smoothly, but they don't know how we may be feeling about certain situations. So, as far as being a man, it's complicated.
Okay, yeah, but for me, it's a little different. You know, I grew up watching my mom fighting men, getting beat up by men. I think, as far as I can remember back, it's like 7 years old. And it's hard for a little boy watching his mom, you know, fighting a man.
Mm-hmm.
He developed anger issues. You know, he want to hurt that man, and he thinking about, you know, that's not healthy. Mm-hmm. That type of feeling doesn't go away. It does nothing but grow in time. Mm-hmm. So by the time you get 12, 13-year-old, you seeing that thing, no types of things, it's just a matter of time before you act on them. And I think being a man is hard. You have to deal with peer pressure. You know, we grew up, well, when I grew up first, when I came back down on Taylor, you know, I grew up in a drug-infested neighborhood. So, you know, I started having sex when I was 10 years old. You know what I'm saying? By the time I got 12 years old, I was having sex regularly. You know, so I don't appreciate sex the way a lot of people would, because I had other people pleasing me before I even learned how to please myself. And to this day, it affects me. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of things that I think men deal with, women won't understand. You know, I think, you know, what we talking about, I'm pretty sure the other men that went through similar things, and, you know, they don't know how to deal with it.
Right.
And so for me, I think being a man and how life affects you as a man starts from the childhood. Most men don't know how to be men. Most men was raised themselves. Right. If you don't know, if you haven't seen men around, how do you know how to imitate a man?
Well, I feel like I grew up, my father was not there really. I would, you know, sometimes, well, one, kind of like you, I grew up with my mom or my grandparents. My grandfather was always working. My uncles hustled. My father was on the other side of town, so I would see him when I would go at my other grandmother's house. So I really didn't see him. And then when I was there, he would normally be running the streets. So I grew up kind of like up under my uncles. The age gap was real small, so they was like closer. Like if I was in middle school, they was just out of high school. So the age gap was real small. So they wasn't even that much mature than me to be like grown men to like, okay, this is the path, this is what you should be doing, because they still was young and they still was in the streets doing what they needed to do to try to provide for the family. So that's the only thing that I was able to pick up from them. A man is going to provide for the family. He's going to make sure everybody eat. He's going to make sure everybody's safe. But with that also being said, growing up in life, you learn different things you're supposed to be doing as a man through trial and error. But at the same time, through trial and error, there's always going to be the good and the bad. The negative is the women always telling you, you're a man, this is what you're supposed to do. That's not how life works. You know what I mean? Because if I say, you're a woman, this is what you're supposed to do. Oh, I'm not a wife. I'm not a girlfriend. We're just dating. It's going to be all these different excuses. But for a man, we don't have no excuse. This is just what we told. This is what we're supposed to do, and we're supposed to stand on that, regardless if we feel if this is right or wrong.
So, you know, me thinking back, I never had a man question my manhood. Every time my manhood was questioned, it was by a woman. A woman always have told me what a real man look like. And to be honest, most of us men find ourselves looking for a woman for guidance on showing us or teaching us what a real man should be, because we really don't know.
I disagree.
So if you just had to say, well, you know what? Thinking back, and I'm talking about before now. Let's go back when you was 25, 26. What was your idea of a real man?
My uncle. And I say this because once again, like I say, we were so close in age. Everybody loved him. He was idolized by everyone. He made sure everybody was good from the family to up and down the block. You see what I'm saying? He provided for the whole ecosystem. He made sure these people was. I remember he gave one of his partners like $10,000 on his truck. He was that type of person, good-hearted type of person. Make sure everybody good, everybody protected, make sure everybody eat, and make sure the block was like, even though they was hustling, doing things in the street, they still kept stuff respectful. You see what I'm saying? To me, that's what a man is. No matter what you do.
And that's a trait you have.
Right.
I asked you, so, what's at the age of 25, if I ask you what's a real man, pretty much a provider. Which now, most of the things you talk about, you still on that lines of being a provider. And then a protector. But see, if you was to ask a white man the same question, he don't think like what we talking about. He's going to tell you, well, a real man is first, he's going to talk about feelings, he's going to be talking about, being there for his wife, and he ain't even talking about no girlfriend shit. His conversation is totally different. He going to be talking about his wife. He going to be talking about, a house, financial freedom. He's having the conversation is completely different. But see, we was raised in a bubble. So our bubble is first thing, when we was kids, what's the first thing? You had to get you some guns. We walking around 12, 13 years old with all kind of guns because we thinking protect.
I agree.
Then we got to think money. But our lives, me and myself, I didn't even expect to live past 25. Everything, every year past 25 for me is a bonus. Because all my friends was getting killed. Right. A lot of my friends is dead because of the lifestyle we live, but it was normal. So we wasn't, and that's why when I say we look for women to set the standards on a man being a man, because he don't really know. First thing he gonna think is grab that gun. That's the way of protecting. You know what? To look out for your family is what? To make some money. So you still going back to the streets.
So let me ask you a question. So you saying, is the woman gonna tell him not to grab the gun?
No, I'm not saying that, because she from the same bubble he from. But what I am saying is, you going back grabbing that gun, gonna send you to prison. You going back to get that money to provide for your family is gonna send you to prison. Everything we have learned from our perspective of being a man sends us to prison. Now, the female's going to tell you, you know what, you need to take care of your kids. She ain't going to tell you how. She ain't going to tell you, you know what, you need to do better. You need to pay these bills. But she ain't going to tell you how.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I say I don't agree that, because all she going to do is put gasoline on the fire. She going to press you about taking care of the kids. She going to press you about this. And then if you doing it and it's not enough, just imagine if you're hustling. I work at Wendy's, and we're brothers, and we're dating sisters. We got kids by sisters. The one sister that's dating me, she's like, well, your brother getting all this money, and you working at Wendy's, you need to do better. Just like you said, she's going to press you to do the type of things that you don't want to do and wind up going to prison. So that's why I don't feel like in that situation, a woman can't show you how to be a man. She can't teach you. She can't even guide you how to be a man. All she gonna do is run you to a brick wall. The only way we can learn to be a man is from a man. You see what I'm saying? It may not even be one man. It may be multiple men, but we take bits and pieces to become the man we is. You see what I'm saying?
Let's say this here, Dre. You're absolutely right. I agree with you 100%. But where we come from, like you said, your idea, your role model of a man, when your uncle had passed away, how old was he?
He was in his 20s.
His early 20s.
Yeah.
So that's your idea of a man, of a 20-year-old young man. He can't tell you how to live your life.
That's a 30 or 40.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So we didn't have the old men sitting us down saying, well, listen here, son, this is what you need to do. You need to go to school and get you a degree so you can get up out of the ghetto. We didn't have nobody, the guys that raised us, they was telling you like, listen, man, you need to get you some money. You need to go ahead and get the prettiest girl in the neighborhood. They was telling us bullshit. And most of these guys out here, that's what they know, bullshit. They wear their pants, whole ass hanging out. They keep a blunt in their mouth. Long as they got $30, $40 in their pocket, they good. How can you raise a family like that? You can't. What I'm saying is, I think the older men, we got to take some accountability for these younger men. We got to start talking to them and tell them what their future gonna look like, because they don't know.
See, but the only thing is you got to catch them early. If you catch them too late, they don't want to hear that, bro. I'm the oldest of 6 boys. I done told this story a million times. I'm always telling my brothers, move this way, do this way. The only thing they gonna say is, you don't know what you're talking about, and you're angry. That's all I hear from them guys. But my thing is this: I can show a person through action. If a person like you know me, like I know you, when Boss say he gonna do something, he gonna do it. When Dre say he gonna do something, he gonna do something. Even though I may talk crap, I'm still gonna do it. I'm gonna complain because I expect better from certain type of people. Because I gotta look at it like this: if a person that have to go through the things that we had to go through, and you try to make it better for them, and you giving them the speech, listen, you doing this wrong, this and this, and when we came up, you know what I mean? If you write a blueprint out for a person, how can they not follow the blueprint? You gave them A to Z. It don't make sense to me, but you got to be willing to listen. If they not willing to listen, or if they pass that point where they feel like listening, and then they can have that mentality, he don't know what he talking about. A lot of people feel like if you don't have nothing, you can't tell them nothing. That's just like if a person came to you and say, well, listen, I'm going to show you how to take $100 and turn it to $1 billion. And he got $4 in his pocket. He may got the knowledge, but you don't even want to hear what he got to say. You see what I'm saying? The way that society is now, everybody works off of the show me. What can you show me? I can't believe it unless you can show me something. And that's crazy.
So that goes back to being neighborhood bound. I call that a neighborhood bound mentality. You know, it's hard for you to think past where you come from. That's why, in my opinion, guys got to travel. You got to travel. You know, you spend more money in the inner city than it costs you to jump on the plane.
Especially going to a strip club.
You see what I'm saying? A lot of these guys never even been outside of Michigan. They never even been to Canada. But they'll go to the titty bar and throw thousands of dollars. You don't even know what's waiting for you out here. So yeah, you go keep that same neighborhood mentality. You thinking, you know, the type of women you dealing with, this is how all women is. Hell no. We've been around the world. Yeah. So we know all women is not the same.
Not the same. I agree.
We know all guys ain't the same. We also know, you know, all cultures is not the same. Right. You got good people and bad people in every culture because I've seen it. I've been hanging around white guys, some cool as hell. I've been around black people that just ain't shit. Right. So it's mixed up, and I still go back to, I think, like I talk to young guys all the time. I tell them about, you know what, man, we went to Colombia. We talked about this. We had a good time. We went to Miami. We went to the DR. I tell them because once they hear it, now they excited. I want to go. Yeah, you go there, man. This is what you should expect when you get there. It's beautiful. The food is different. You remember when we was in Colombia eating that chicken. That chicken tasted different as hell. But see, if you talking to a never been nowhere, he ain't gonna understand the food is cleaner outside the United States. Yeah. They ain't got all them preservatives, steroids in them. They catch that chicken right there, Go pick the feathers off of it, and it's in some grease.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's hard to. And I also feel this too, Dre. I feel by older men not talking to younger men is setting the stage sideways for these young women. Because if all these men don't know nothing about how the world works, they impregnate these young women, guess what? It's a repeat cycle. You know what? They don't know how to talk to their woman. They don't know how to get their point across to their woman. So what they do? They break up. And when a man break up with a woman, what he gonna do? He gonna move on to the next woman and compete and do the same thing. So now he look up, he got 3 baby mamas, sometimes 4 baby mamas or more, because he repeated the same mistake because he never learned how to first communicate with a woman.
See, that's the only thing I can sit here and say. I talk to my brothers. That's the only thing I can say that they took heed. Ooh, I just haven't random kids out here by just different type of chicks, because that shit is a bill. Somebody you got to think, if you're struggling with yourself, once you have a child or get this woman pregnant, you may have to cover her bills because she's gonna have to take time off of work. I mean, I did that. Like when my baby girl, when her mom got pregnant, she was like maybe a few months, maybe 3-4 months, and I'm like, she wound up losing her job, so I gotta pay rent and do all this before my child even get here. You see what I'm saying? That's stipulations that you have to do, and if you're struggling, you're not gonna be able to do that. And I have to explain that to my brothers, and I explain that to any of the little young dudes that I run across. I tell them my story about owing over $200,000 in child support, not having a driver's license, a passport, none of that. You know what I mean? And sometimes you can be in a situation where you're not even trying to have a child with this woman. It can be a one-night stand turned into now you got 20 years of child support, and you just wanted one night of fun. So men have to weigh their options. So I teach that. I try to teach that to the ones that's gonna listen. But I feel like being a man is always gonna be complicated because we got a target on our back. You see what I'm saying? The expectations for us is just unrealistic. And then you got so many people that's fighting for kids, grandkids, their wife, family, whoever. If we have people, everybody got their hand out, 9 times out of 10, we got to work this job, maybe 2 jobs, job and a half. And that's why women outlive us. That's why we die at an early age, because the pressures from the world is on the man more than it is on the woman.
I'm going to piggyback off what you said, though, too, Dre, about, having kids, even if you don't want them. Mm-hmm. See, all that go back from simply not knowing.
Right.
Yeah, I normally blame the woman for, the choices of who she have sex with. That's her choice. But women are pleasers. Mm-hmm. They usually want to please the person that they with or who they like. Mm-hmm. So if this guy want to have sex, she know the possibility of her getting pregnant, mm-hmm. but she still take that chance because she like that man at that time.
I agree.
So what I'm saying is this. Men, we got to say, damn, I want to live. Mm-hmm. I want to have some fun. Having some sex, you're going to have some fun temporarily. But I want guys to think it's bigger than that. Mm-hmm. Like I'm saying, traveling. Most of these guys never even been on a boat, let alone a yacht. Mm-hmm. If you got child support, it's a good chance you ain't getting on that yacht. Your money go always be fucked up. Because even when it's slow for you, child support don't care about it being slow. Child support need that every month. And if you don't got it this month, we go sit up here, put it on the books, and we go double up on you next month. So I just really feel men have to be more, they have to hold some accountability too on impregnating these females, because these females don't know it. They looking for love. When I was young and coming up, most of the females was looking for love. It wasn't no daddy in the household. So if a boy told him, you know what, I like you pretty, give her some compliments, give her some candy, buy her some food, that's your girlfriend.
See, it's a good and bad to that. Getting to know this woman before you sleep with her. You get to know her mentally to make sure she's stable and all that. But what comes with that, her feelings can get a lot stronger. So even though you're going in for sex, her feelings get a lot stronger. Now you playing with her feelings, and you choose just if she got pregnant. 9 times out of 10, she definitely gonna keep that child because you poured so much into her. Now with the guys just sliding through one night action, popping her off. If she get pregnant, the likeliness is very slim that she's gonna have that baby over a person that gained her for a year, 6 months, and all that, because her feelings is not going to be as strong in the beginning. Even though she like him, feelings not going to be as strong as the guy that took her out, opened doors, breakfast, and all this stuff. So it's a good and bad to that. But my thought is this. At a young age, ain't nothing wrong with you going out having fun, doing your thing, but the whole thing is protection. Protect yourself. If you wear protection, you ain't got to worry about nobody saying it's your baby. You ain't got to worry about 20 years of paying child support, living off ramen noodles, and can't enjoy life because you're paying for a child that you didn't want to be here. So if a person do what they supposed to do at a young age, or if a father teaches son about wearing protection, rubbers and condoms and the games and all that, that'll put him one step ahead. That'll prevent a lot of situations. Not just saying, okay, wear protection, you don't want to have a baby. You got to break down what comes along with it, man. Child support, showing him some bold checks, or just explain to him you have no choice. When you get to paying child support, they taking your money, you this and that. And then let a person know, okay, you a child, you doing a summer job, this is what you make. You make $400 a week. Imagine child support taking $250 or $200. Once you start breaking things down to numbers and make things a reality for him, he's going to think about everything before he make them decisions. Like in my situation, I didn't have nobody breaking nothing down. I didn't have a job at the time. I was hustling. So I wasn't thinking about no child support. One, I wasn't thinking about having a child. Two, and I didn't think she would lie to me and say, okay, well, I'm not going to have a baby, and then turn around and have a baby. So that's another pressure of the world. Just because a woman tell you one thing, that don't mean that's what they going to do. You see what I'm saying? So as being a man, we got all type of pressure we got to deal with. We even have to be humble. When we get pulled over by the police, they're not going to be as aggressive with a woman that they're going to be with us. You see what I'm saying? They always slamming us against the car, throwing on cuffs and all that, and extra rude. And then when they find out, okay, just say we got pulled over, we not the person they're looking for. Okay, I'm sorry. And just, no. Show me the same energy when you threw me all against the car. So it's so crazy just being a man just to survive. And especially where we come from, we in the hood, we in the heart of the ghetto. We from Detroit. We may not stay in bad areas now, but we was born where it was at the grimiest of the grimy in Michigan. So being a man, you have to know how to move out here for safety reasons. You have to try to stay away from all the negative things that's going to reflect you. If it don't reflect you, it can turn around and harm your family, your kids, and everything else.
And you know what, Dre? Like you said, I'm just going to go back to the police abuse part. See, a lot of guys, we got some smart black men out here.
True.
But a lot of them got felonies. A lot of them is on papers.
Right.
So when they being mistreated, especially by the police, you can't even go in there and file a complaint because you got a warrant.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So the reason why I'm bringing that up is we starting off wrong. Mm-hmm. You can't even defend yourself from every aspect because there's always something stopping you from your growth. Mm-hmm. Child support, that's going to hinder you. Mm-hmm. You catching a felony, that's going to hinder you. Mm-hmm. You losing your driver's license, that's going to hinder you. Mm-hmm. I think us as men, we got to take some accountability for not talking to the young men. Mm-hmm. Because they're not going to get it from the woman. The woman's going to sit up and tell them what they need to do, what mm-hmm. they should do. The woman's going to tell them, you ain't no real man. You know what? Telling the kids, you ain't shit. Your daddy don't want to be bothered with you. You know what? Your daddy don't fuck with you. That's how the woman's going to talk to you about your kid. And I get it. A lot of men don't want to come around the kids when they money fucked up. Right. They don't want to come through and your kid may ask you for ice cream off the ice cream truck. You ain't even got no money. But you trying to come over and get time. That's a fucked up ass feeling. You come over and your kid want to go to the store. You ain't even got $2 in your pocket.
Yeah, I done been through that, man. I remember think I told the story on here before. I had $7 and I ain't have enough to feed me and my daughter. I fed my daughter. I mean, that's life, being the father and being a man that's actually in the child's life. You know what I mean?
So I think a lot of young men should just start talking to the younger guys. You know, if you're an uncle, you're a big cousin, don't assume young dog got it all figured out. Because how can he got it figured out? It's impossible. He never been a man before. So he can't figure out how to be a man without a man telling him how it works. Yeah. Because you better believe auntie is in old girl ear. You got your little girlfriend, her auntie is in her ear. Girl, you better do this. Her mama telling the girl, you better not be coming back here just with no wet ass. You know what? Did he give you some money? I see him out there hustling. The women is always grooming the other women. But the guys, we never, you know what, put little dog up under our arm and say, you know what, man, you make sure you save your money. You know what I'm saying? You make sure you, you putting something away for a rainy day. We don't do that.
We got to start. That's the type of stuff you have to start early. You got to catch them like in their middle school. You got to catch them before high school, because high school, they got so many other influences. By the time they're in high school, now they're trying to, have sex. And if they haven't want to have sex, they going to be being impressed by all the little women. They want their nails did. They want the little fashions. And, whatever it is. You know what I mean? I saw a little young chick, probably in high school, talking about a guy can't even holler at her unless he take her to Ruth Chris. And she spelled roof, not R-U-T-H. It was roof, like the roof of a house. And it's crazy.
You gonna see her some, go feed her some shingles?
So you sitting there talking about some Ruth Chris and you can't even spell it. So that's obviously you've never been there. But this is what older women is putting in the younger women ears. So the younger men need a OG in their ear. So, I mean, sometimes you can't be overbearing with it. You can give them little nuggets here in bits and pieces and let them soak that up. And if they vibing with you, then they're going to want to come to you like Uncle, OG, and then they're going to ask for more information. You just can't come beating it in the head, because some of them ain't going to even be receptive to it. Some of them ain't going to want to hear it. You know what I mean? They may listen to you just out of courtesy, but some of them going to be like, when you walk off, man, I don't want to hear that shit that nigga talking about. But some people generally gonna want that vibe because they want you to put them up on game. And the thing is this, all that stuff is nothing but a repeat. I used to hear my parents and grandparents and everybody used to tell me before I got to this age, it's the same old game, it's just different players. That's real, bro. Like even the streets, okay, this is not popping, that's popping. It's still a game, it's still a hustle, it's still something illegal going on. It's just different people. All that flip is just changing from this generation to that generation. So
yeah, that's the saying that I always say, is nothing new under the sun. It's just old shit happening to new people.
Yeah.
So you're absolutely right. And I think if you deliver, because young guys feel me when I talk.
Right.
When I talk to them, I'm sincere. I tell them things that I done wrong that I wish I would have done different. And if I see something that they doing, I tell them, I ain't trying to tell you what to do, young blood, but this is what's going to happen to you. And once it happened to him, he'll come back. You was right, man. Yeah, I know. But everything all right? You show some compassion. A lot of these guys just don't have nobody. You got all these young men got to be tough. You know why? Because there's nobody to take up for them. It's nobody that got their back. They gotta be. It's nobody that's got your back, but you gotta be everybody's protector.
Right.
I mean, that's a lot of stress. That's a lot on a young guy, 16, 17 years old. Your daddy was never there for you, but you figuring out how to be a daddy. You figuring out how to be a protector. You trying to figure out how to be a provider. At the same time, you trying to stay out of prison. That's a lot. But it's typical. This is what a lot of these young guys is going through.
So that's only typical. I think that's more or less in the black culture. And that's because the man before us, the man before him, the man before him didn't do right by himself financially. Or he did all the wrong things. And at some point, we got to be the person to break the chain, to break what they call it, the family curse, and make it for everybody else to have a different path, a different route.
Well, you know what, Dre? You say is what we see, right? I was in Chicago. Them young guys in Chicago, is serious about that gangbanging stuff, dog.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about it had to be about 12 young guys. I'm talking about 8, 10. Them niggas don't care nothing about no police. They don't care nothing about dying.
Mm-hmm.
They care about getting it in.
See, but you gotta think we was like that one point on the block. We was shooting it up. We was doing all that gangster stuff. But the difference between us and them, I don't know what they got going on, but we was trying to get money in the process because we still wanted to get out the hood. Now them, it's different when you living by certain standards. Like, it done got physical. A couple people, guns may have went off. No one died. When somebody died, all the rules go out the window. And you got to think that's how it is in Chicago. Motherfuckers is getting killed all the time. So I don't care if it was just a friendly game, a shootout, and nobody got hurt. The day when one of mine or one of theirs get hurt, the dynamics change. It's always got to be like, I got to put one on the board. That's their mindset. You kill one of mine, I got to kill 2 of yours. And that's the mindset when it goes that way. Ain't no coming back. Sometimes they can tell you, once you cross this line, it's a line that once you cross it, ain't no turning back. It's certain things, and that's just the dynamics down there. Of course, they don't care. They ain't got nothing. 9 times out of 10, if let's just say like we all grew up together, you couldn't touch one of us without your head getting split. It's the same mentality. You touch one of theirs, something gonna happen, and then when you touch one of theirs, something gonna happen. It's just the back and forth. But I mean.
So what you think about the gang mentality? Because that's what I think it boils down to.
The way we grew up, motherfucker claim what Streeves from, he did this and that. But our whole mindset, we getting money. We wasn't thinking about, all this crazy shit. That was never the thought process. And once again, our OGs, that was, it was all type of gangs they was talking about back in the days. But the OGs weren't throwing up no gang sign. They weren't wearing no scarves. They gangs or they little crews was a crew of guys getting money together.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? They dynamics is different. You might got a couple guys getting money, and you got more guys that's out here shooting stuff up. So that's the only difference is once you get to throwing scarves and hand signs.
I think it's more of a culture because I never been in a gang, so of course I'm just assuming. Mm-hmm. I think if you grew up in a blood neighborhood, just so you can have protection, all your friends is bloods. You just become a blood.
Sometimes you get a free pass if they don't want you to be in that type of lifestyle, though.
But that's if you're good in sports or something, or they see you going in another direction. But you know what I'm saying? For the most part, you are a product of your environment. Mm-hmm. My thing is, I get that, but it got to change. Look at the results. Look at the stats. We losing. Gangs is losing. Hustlers is losing.
See, but they so far gone. Ain't no way to sit here and say they know. Like it may take 10, it may take 20, it may take 30 years. Like, remember, just like they going crazy in Chicago. Remember, it used to be like that, a big thing between the Bloods and Crips, where they was killing each other so much that they had to sit down to peace rallies and all that. Next thing you know, they making music together. They doing videos together. And it just take two people with some real power to sit them down. It may not even be this generation because so many different people that got killed from so many different sets. It may take these guys from this generation, 20 years down the line, when they sit here and say, you know what, we can move together. That was 20 years ago.
Do you think a lot of things that we're seeing right now today is influenced by the music? Because this is what I think. I think a lot of people that influence our culture is not even black. Mm-hmm. I think white, Jews, other races of people have more control of our culture than us because they run TV. Radio, TV. They run, different record companies. And if you don't put out this kind of music, I won't put your shit out.
See, but it starts before it starts with the music. It starts in the neighborhood. If I'm in the hood, if I'm 12 years old, I'm going to school, I come out the door with my book bag on. and I'm in the hood, 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna see somebody on the corner drinking wine, a couple crackheads, somebody on the block somewhere hustling and all that. So before it even get to the videos and music and all that, it comes from what I see outside my door, what I see in my neighborhood. Now, the guy up the street got a record deal. All he's doing is rapping about what he sees when he walk out the door. He right up the street. I can relate to everything he's saying because that's my same neighborhood, or that's the same type of area I grew up with. So that's just like this guy from Chicago, New York, Philadelphia, Atlanta, wherever he at. He talking about hustling. He talking about this. He doing this, and that. Like when I was in the streets hustling back in my younger days, that's the only type of music I wanted to hear. I didn't want to hear nobody talking about twerking and snapping and popping. I used to want to hear hustler music because I need to hear something to motivate me when I hit the block. You see what I'm saying? So I don't think it's just the music. It's still your area you grew up in. And that was my duty was me being out here hustling. My duty, my job was always to try to get enough money so at some one day I can get my kids out the hood where I can be beneficial to my family by any means. And that's the part that comes along with being the man.
So when you was younger, you had got signed to a record label.
Yeah.
The record label tried to change your sound.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's what I'm saying.
See, they didn't try to make us sound like gangster. At the time, they tried to make us sound like on some rock and roll type stuff. And I mean, I actually kind of fell out with my fellas behind that for a while because I wasn't feeling what they was on. So.
But see what I'm saying? Like when I was a kid, you had guys like Special Ed. You had Heavy D. You had a lot of people that wasn't talking about. Of course, you had the NWAs. You had a choice of what type of music you wanted to listen to. If you want to listen to rap, it's going to be degrading. You got guys besides.
Sometimes you guys.
Well, who else you got?
Now?
Yeah.
Outkast was never the degrading type of music.
That's right, but look what happened to them. They faded out.
Nah, they broke up. A lot of people like Big Boy still put music out here and there, but Andre 3000, he said he got bored with it. It was too much for him. He really got into it for the you know how people do stuff because they like doing it. He said he got in to make a few dollars. He didn't think he was gonna get that big. Then when you get that big, now you're under the microscope. Everything you do. It's like Dave Chappelle walking away from that 50 million. The more fame you get, you can't move. You can't go to the store no more. You got to send somebody. Think about all that. Think about like how Michael Jackson and Prince was. They would never ever live a normal life. Everybody don't want to be like that. You see what I'm saying?
So through the black culture, like David Chappelle, he can't walk up the street.
Yeah, he can now. But imagine if he'd have kept getting bigger and bigger and taking off that 50 million next contract.
I'm pretty sure he got millions, Dre.
But thank you. He walked away for many years before he came back.
But that's because he felt like, remember
he
I
was
was
selling
talking,
his soul pretty much.
Well, he felt like that money, it was other people, things come with money. Like I say, when you want to get signed to a record label, from my understanding, because I was told by a person that got signed, he said, listen, man, I can't put out what I want to put out. He said, if I make positive music, that shit goes shit on the shelf.
Exactly.
So he got to put out degrading music because somebody else is controlling his music. He's just an artist. It's coming out of his mouth.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you can write anything. It can be positive shit. It can be bullshit. But when you take it to the label, they got the final to say, okay, this track cool, this track ain't shit. Okay, you gave us 50 tracks. We only going to use these 10. You bring us some more. These 40 ain't shit. So they do have the last say. That's like I told when we was signed, this back when Coolio had brought Gangsta Paradise. That was so long ago. All they kept saying, it still don't sound like Coolio. I mean, that's all we heard. So, I mean, you know, they want you to do things their way. That's part of being signed to them.
And that's what I'm saying. I think everybody should probably take a step back and say, what do I really want? I mean, you got some very skilled black people, Mexicans, other people, but I'm talking from my own culture right now. You have some very talented black people that know how to get their message across. You still got guys like Scarface. You got right now Kendrick. You got guys that can sit up here and get their point across and make sense without talking about killing somebody.
That's true.
Without talking about, popping pussy or, girl on girl or, whatever. They can get their point across just poetry with a beat, like how it used to be. And I believe the record labels is purposely trying to destroy the black culture, the up and coming, the newer people, the 12, 13, 14, 15, because that's what they targeting. They ain't targeting us. We go listen to some old school. So that's what I think they targeting, and I think all this is done on purpose.
I think some of it be done on purpose, but I also think about with anything, they always want to be the first to do something. Like when they brought the little gay rapper out, the Nas dude, X Nas or whatever his name is.
The cowboy rapper.
Cowboy dude looking. So the thing is this. He was the first probably open gay dude rapper. And then, once he got famous, you got a few other little guys start coming out and saying they was gay and all that. But before him, it wasn't none of them guys talking about
Yeah, but see, a record label had to okay him. That it was a man on TV pregnant.
It was a man on TV pregnant?
The gay dude that you talking about, the cowboy rapper.
Oh, shit. I didn't know.
Oh, yeah, he was on, I think it was BET Awards. He was pregnant.
So he about to have a river? So he was dressed like he was pregnant?
No, it looked like.
He was dressed like he was pregnant.
Yeah, he had a stomach, a real stomach. It was makeup, of course, but it was a man pregnant. So they allowed that on TV. When we was kids, ain't no fucking way you finna see no pregnant man.
Now you have to go back to all this. Not saying anything about no men, women, the gay, bi, whatever your LGBT, whatever your thing is. When you look at this is a man, even though he want to be a woman, he's gay, whatever, he's a man. Something had to be wrong with this man mentally to even dress up like he was pregnant like a woman.
I think, but what I'm saying, Drake, I think it was pushed by the label. I think the label.
I think that's just him.
No, because when I see him doing interviews, he looked like a young man. He dressed like a man outside, but I don't know how that even flew. I don't even see how that could be allowed on TV. Because you know what that does to all the younger men that's 7, 8 years old? They asking their mama, how is that possible, ma? Daddy can have a baby? You see how confusing that can be in the household?
It might be changed. You got to think. All this goes by the presidents, the vice presidents, what they stand for. The last president was cool with to get the LGBT vote, so they allowed certain things and all that. Now you got to look at the new regime. Donald Trump he ain't no more transgender. You either man or woman. You see what I'm saying? It's all about what that president and they politics and what they pushing. So when he's out of office, ain't no telling what the next guy gonna do. You see what I'm saying? So
man, Trump really stuck it to everybody.
That changes. But I mean, the thing is this: we knew it was gonna happen.
I didn't know it was gonna be that bad though, Drake.
I did, because he's still the man he is. He just said, you got to think, bro. With a man trying to get sex, with a woman trying to get something out of man, everybody plays a role. Everybody gonna say what they need to say to get what they need to do. I saw him on there, lady. We're for Trump. Mexican lady. He's standing behind her, holding her hands in the air, like yeah. As soon as he got elected, he deporting all of them. You see what I'm saying? So they fell for the game, man. The thing is this, dog. Us being black people, we've been reached around and messed over so much. It's hard for somebody to just come through and tell us anything and we go for it. Because we see the game. We done grew up in the hood. We done saw all the jangling and the politics and the reach arounds. So can't nobody say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm gonna bless you. I'm going to turn $1,000 to $1 million. Give me that 1,000. I'll be right back. You like, nah. I saw this movie before. They fell for all that. And everybody voted and got him in there, and he reaching everybody around. I saw some stuff the other day. Some building, and all these other people was trying to get in. Some building, all these Republicans and Democrats and all these Congress people trying to get in. And he got his own personal security at the door. Kind of business you got here. They like, we such and such, this our building. can't come in today.
Oh, you talking about for the Detroit Board of for the Education Board?
Yep. You can't come in today.
And that's their building that they.
And guess what? You can't come in today.
You know what, Dre? Let me ask you this: what you think about Elon Musk being the vice president? I'm confused. Who's our vice president?
First off, the thing is this: if he the president, vice president, whatever, you got to realize this. They saying by him, Trump dealing business with him, bringing him in, he's breaking all type of rules. He's the president. He gonna do what he want to do. They already let him in office. Why he got indicted and found guilty on multiple felonies, but they still let him in office. But that just lets you know what type of country we living in as men. So also with that being said, if he not listening to them, if he getting down, he doing whatever, then he's doing everything he's doing is from a business aspect, bro. He coming in, he's setting himself up. If he worth $5 billion to $10 billion, when he leave the office dealing with Elon Musk, ain't no telling how he's definitely worth way more money than Trump. So when they do what they do together, they setting it up for everything is business. Trump, what the president make probably with $1 million or something a year? They don't make nothing.
I think he make 300,000.
They don't make nothing. So anytime a person that's a billionaire is trying to be a president, he's not doing that for the good of the country. He's doing that to put plays together for him to capitalize.
Yeah, he spent $250 million to get
so
Trump in office.
He's sitting there telling motherfuckers, you can't sell your car over here without a tariff. Anything you bring in here, I need 25%. If you bring $100 worth, I need $25. Anything coming in and out of the United States, he taxing now. If a person is trying to become president for a job where they get very little money and they're already a billionaire, no one is going to do that for the good of the country. That's bull crap. So everybody that fell for it, they fell for it. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie, I didn't vote for him, but I appreciate that he kept the job that I work at. He got it going where they was gonna send all our jobs elsewhere. I'm glad he was able to pull that off and keep it here. But it's all a part of business, the business aspect. Anything that's coming in here, they getting paid off of. It's about to be, when this 4 years up, everybody gonna be sad. He's already deporting a lot of people. He's sending people back to different countries. And he's setting himself up, Elon Musk and all his little compadres, to see some real money. Which I'm not mad at it, you know what I mean? He did exactly what I figured any businessman would do. He gonna tap dance and show y'all this hand, he going in there and finesse with the other hand. So you gotta think, if you was the president, you're gonna make sure your people eat too. To me, the only thing I feel like he did the same thing Kwame Kilpatrick did, but Kwame went to jail for it.
Well, I'm more concerned about Musk. I can't figure out his role, dog. This dude is making all kind of calls and calling shots on this and calling shots on that. I still don't know what the fuck his position is. Why this guy always on TV? He on TV more than Donald Trump.
The more you see him, the more acceptable it becomes.
Nah, fuck that. I'm asking questions. I want to know, who are you and why you always calling shots? What authority do you have?
He got the authority of the president. The president run the world. So he got the highest authority. Now the thing is this. Trump is in a position to do everything he want to do when he want to do it. All they can do is try to veto it. And he's not going to Congress. You see, he's not going to Congress with anything he's doing. He's just doing it. And before it's over, what they gonna try to impeach him? Well, by the time they figure whatever out they trying to do, his plays is already in position.
And you know what else, Dre, was crazy to me? The president got all these felons. I don't even see how a job can even ask you, are you a felon now? I'm gonna say, what the fuck different does it get? Shit, the president is a felon, so it shouldn't even matter. I don't even see how none of these jobs can even set any standards now. You shouldn't say nothing to nobody about smoking weed, nobody drinking, none of that shit. A nigga should be able to use crack at work now because the president, he got the highest job in the land. And this guy got what? 30-something felonies?
See, it goes back to the saying. They say, I look like this. They say the land of the free, the America is the best, greatest land, the greatest, all this stuff. I mean, any other country, I feel like they probably would have got him together. You can't just be. It's like kind of like almost like a dictatorship. He running a dictatorship, and it's supposed to be a democracy. It's the land of the free. This is really not a democracy. This is not even made for us. You see what I'm saying? It's either, I can't even say if it's white, black, Chinese, or none of that. It's either you rich and things going your way, or you poor. It's either the rich or the poor. If you rich, you gonna blossom along with all his little crew, because if you rich, you rubbing elbows with other rich people. The tax breaks is for the rich people. All the knowledge and the information is going to be for the rich people. The person that's going to suffer, that pay more taxes, that don't get the information, it's always going to be the poor people. And that's just what it is. He putting his crew together.
Yeah, so you know what I'm thinking? We need to start putting our crew together. We need to start uniting, coming together, and start figuring out what we want as a culture.
Exactly.
What we want as a people. You know, what is best for us. Because they're not going to give us no land. They're not going to give us a place that we can go and be left alone, because history proved that. You know what I mean? You know, every time we got our own land, or what they saying, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, they came and bombed us with planes and
took it,
Yeah, so I don't even know what to say about that at this point, because, you know, we tried everything, and every time we tried it, we got bombed and blew up, killed.
See, it wasn't enough of us do it. They united there. They should have been united over there. They should have been united over there. They should have been united over there. It should have been united over here. And with that also being said,
so you say having like several Black Wall Streets? Yeah,
it should have been multiple. It can't just be Black Wall Street there. Got to be Black Wall Street here, because if you got Black Wall Street, just say if it was wherever it was at Washington, whatever they selling, we in Detroit, whatever we selling, I'm quite sure we can get some stuff from them, directly from them, that we need product from there that we can bring here at a cheaper price that's not here, and vice versa. That's how it is. We got stuff from America going over to China. We got stuff from China coming back to America. So it's all about doing business with each other. You got majority gold coming from Africa, or you got diamonds coming from here and all that. So everybody's like a just giant exchange. It's country to country and world to world, whatever. But it need to be state to state, Black Wall Street to Black Wall Street. And that's the only way we're going to see more or grow or come up with better for us. We got to unite. Everybody can't be sitting here worried about this man's pocket. All you can do is worry about your business. If you got this business going on selling carrots, I'm selling apples over here. If I'm eating off of you, you eating off me. I don't care if I'm only making 25 cents off a barrel and you making $5. We building a community, and you worrying about yours, I'm worried about mine. The issue why we can't work with each other, because everybody always trying to worry about everybody else, or I'm not getting a fair cut. If you're not the boss, if you a worker, or you don't have equal shares, you're not going to get an equal share. That's just how it is.
So, you know, well, that's my opinion. That's your opinion. You got any last words?
Like, subscribe, share, and help build our platform.
We out.
Peace.